from the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
you human
on the point of order.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
This is Atlantic Television Network Global News at 9. First, the headlines. Governor Fubara assures delivery of PH Ring Road. Again, Shaibu loses bid to stop impeachment. Senate passes Student Loan Act bill. CBN lifts FX restrictions on milk and others. Vietnamese president resigns amid graft purge. Singer Grenade finalizes divorce with ex-husband. Danny Alves granted £1 million bail after rape conviction. And now the rest of the news. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has assured his administration is committed to delivering the Port Harcourt Ring Road on schedule. Governor Fubara gave the assurance when he visited the project site to assess the extent of work that has been achieved. The Port Harcourt Ring Road was flagged off in July last year and scheduled to be completed in 36 months. This will be the first time Governor Fubara is inspecting the road project that will traverse communities in 6 local government areas of the state. On days, the governor rode the stretch of the road from the Obiri-Ikwere Airport axis through the Jesuit Memorial School Road to Elipodu and Rupoku communities and returned to Rumosi community before terminating the tour at the UTC junction. Governor Fubara said so much money is being spent on the project and that despite the change in the price rate, nothing will stop the project from being completed.
We're good, considering the understanding that we have with Julius Berger. We signed off that in 36 months this project will be done and delivered, and with with what we're seeing, they are meeting up that target. I think I'm okay. Although we have a few issues, price rate at that time and presently, but whatever it is, I've assured them that we'll give them all the necessary support to make sure that we deliver. This project is very important to us. It's one of the first things that I signed off when I came in as the governor of the state. It's a signature project for me. Whichever way anybody wants to look at it, we signed up for it. We're paying dearly for it, and it's one of the objectives of this administration to make sure that we deliver it to our people.
Managing Director of Julius Berger Nigerian PLC, Dr. Lars Richer, conducted a governor around the project site and said they have achieved significant progress with the 2 flyovers at the level of laying of beams, while other levels of work are ongoing.
Over Easter we will start with the laying of the first beams of one of the flyovers. On the other flyover we will finish drilling. We are using 2 drilling rigs to complete the piling, and then we are moving to the third flyover already. So you can see the first flyover we started on the 15th of January. 2 months later we will start already laying of the beams, so we are on track.
Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri has condemned the Okwama attack, during which 17 soldiers were killed in the Ughelli South local government area of Delta State. During a reaction to the incident, called for concerted effort and support from the military and other security agencies to bring the killers of the 17 soldiers to justice. The governor's chief press secretary, Daniel Alabra, conveyed Diri's commitment to ensuring no effort is spared to bring the perpetrators to book in a statement on Wednesday. He stated that Bayelsa State, being a host to the headquarters of the Joint Service Operation Delta Safe, the Central Naval Command, Nigerian Air Force Mobility Command, and the Nigerian Army 16th Brigade, was understandably outraged at the heinous attack on the military personnel that are cherished members of the communities they are located and the state. He said the government would continue to support the military and other law enforcement institutions on their mission in the state. Consequently, the governor directed all the security commanders in the state, as well as the coordinator of the Bayelsa Community Safety Corps, Brigadier General Eric Angaye, retired, to scale up surveillance and patrol of the state borders and waterways. Nigerian Navy Forward Operating Base Ibaka in Mbo, local government area of Akwa Ibom State, has arrested 2 suspected cultists and handed them over to the Department of State Services. The commanding officer of the FOB, Captain Uche Aneke, who handed the cultists over, said they were arrested following a report of court clashes between the Redskin and Bagas court groups in Ibaka. He further stated that a locally made pistol, a live cartridge, and a machete were recovered from one of the 2 suspects, decrying the upsurge of cultism and warning criminals to stay clear of the operational area of the naval base. While receiving the suspect and the recovered arms, a superintendent of the DSS, Abe Sunday, promised diligent prosecution of the case. The Federal High Court in Abuja has again refused to stop the impeachment moves initiated against Edo State Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu by the State House of Assembly. At Wednesday's proceedings, his request for an order of status quo to be maintained by the House of Assembly and others involved in the impeachment saga was turned down by Justice James Kolawole Omotosho. Shaibu, through his lawyer, Professor Lawoyin Awoyale, a senior advocate of Nigeria, had orally requested for an order of status quo to be maintained by parties pending the hearing and termination of his motion on notice. In reaction, Justice Omotosho held that the cited authority was not applicable in Shaibu's case before the governor of Edo State and the Edo State House of Assembly, who are the principal actors in the impeachment bid, have not been served with the originating summons of the suit as required by law. However, the judge granted a request that the Edo State Governor and the State House of Assembly be served with the originating summons by substituted means. Specifically, Justice Omotosho ordered that the court process be pasted at the entrance gate of the Edo State Government House and the gate of the State House of Assembly complex, both in Benin. Justice Omotosho subsequently fixed April 15th for the hearing of the case. Abia State House of Assembly has passed a bill to stop payment of pension to former governors and their deputies in the state. It's entitled A Bill for a Law to Revoke the Abia State Governors and Deputy Governors' Pensions and for Other Matters Connected Therewith. It was sponsored by Uchenna Okoro, Majority Leader and member representing Arochukwu State Constituency. The Speaker, Emmanuel Emeruwa, announced the passage of the bill after its second reading, consideration at the Committee of the Whole, and its third reading during the day's plenary. Emeruwa, while congratulating members, said that the bill will reduce the state governance expenses and redirect resources towards development. He said that the bill, once assented to by the governor, will be referred to as Abia State Governors and Deputy Governors Repeal Law 2024. The Speaker said that the bill will take effect immediately. Tuesday, March 19, 2024, with the bill, former governors and their deputies will no longer enjoy pension benefit after their tenures have expired. The Labour Party has suspended Onyekachi Philip Ugu, its youth leader for Ubima Ikuoka Ward, Nsukka local government area of Enugu State. The development followed the passing of a vote of no confidence on the youth leader by the Ward Executive Committee and stakeholders of the party. This was contained in a statement on Wednesday jointly signed by the Labour Party Ward Chairman and Secretary, Ozo Chibogu and Sebastian Ugweke, respectively. Ugu was accused by the party of engaging in anti-party activities and other suspicious activities alleged to be detrimental to the reputation and values of the Labour Party. According to the statement, the suspended youth leader has been asked to submit all party items in his custody to the chairman within the next 48 hours. He was also warned by the notice to cease parading himself as a party youth leader, pending the accommodation of the disciplinary committee. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Lagos Zonal Command on Wednesday secured the conviction and sentencing of one Ilyasu Garba and Joseph Ude before Justice K.O. Ogundare of the Federal High Court sitting in Ikoyi, Lagos, for offenses bordering on counterfeiting and possession of counterfeit currency. They were arraigned alongside one Benjamin Okpara on a 5-count charge bordering on counterfeiting and possession of counterfeit currency. However, while Garba and Ude pleaded guilty, Okpara pleaded not guilty. The prosecuted counsel T.J. Banjo thereafter called Adamu Yakubu, a operative of the EFCC, to review the facts of the case. Yakubu told the court that the Nigerian Customs Service handed over one Ifeanacho Ugo Marcellinus to the FCC following his arrest for being in possession of counterfeit United States dollar bills to the tune of $10,000. Justice Ogundare admitted and marked them as exhibit and declared the second and third defendant guilty as charged. Justice Ogundare convicted and sentenced Garba and Ude to 6 months imprisonment from the day of arrest with an option of fine of 100,000 naira. The court adjourned to April 22, 2024 for the bail hearing of Okpara. The judge remanded him at the correctional center. Chairman of the National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, said on Wednesday that 16 political parties have indicated interest in participating in the November off-cycle governorship election in Ondo State. Yakubu, who spoke at a meeting with leaders of the civil society organization in Abuja, however, said that the commission will no longer accredit CSOs who fail to submit a report of their election monitoring to the commission after every election. The INEC chairman regretted that some CSOs were yet to submit their report and recommendations for the 2023 general elections to the commission as a fulfillment of one of the conditions for the accreditation. He disclosed that the commission will publish the particulars of candidates for the Edo State governorship election by the 31st of March in line with the timetable and schedule for activities for the election. He assured that INEC will continue to partner with civil society organizations in the conduct of its activities, adding that the commission appreciates the observations and recommendations contained in the election observation report submitted by the CSOs. After spending about 10 days in a kidnapper's den, Kwara State Police Command has rescued Pengacho Zhang, a Chinese national, from his abductors in a forest in the state. Zhang, also known as Williams Kaka among his business associates, was rescued by police operatives after a series of searches and investigation by the police tactical team and vigilante in the forest in the state. Zhang was reportedly abducted by a gang comprising 6 armed men at Cherry's guest house located in the Yenkori on the outskirts of Ilorin, Kwara State capital. The Chinese national had reportedly lodged in the guest house for over 2 months, during which time he was transacting business before the incident occurred. The Kwara State Police Command confirmed the rescue of the foreign national in a statement signed by the State Public Relations Officer Ejire Adeyemi Toun on Wednesday. National Association of Academic Technologies, University of Maiduguri branch in Borno State, has playfully embarked on an industrial action on Wednesday to press home their demand. This was disclosed by the chairman of the association, Comrade Yusuf Bulus Darbatu, while briefing journalists after peaceful protests. Among the demands include full implementation of 2009 agreement, payment of outstanding earn allowances, and release of enabling circular for career elongation for counties 14 and 15. Others are the need to upgrade obsolete equipment and improve the structural state of laboratories in our citadel of higher learning, and the negotiation of the aforementioned 2009 agreement. Therefore, the union unanimously decided to abide by the outcome of their virtual conference held on 13th of March 2024 and the outcome of the branch congress region held on the 18th March 2024. To this end, Unimed NAD branch has decided to embark on a 3-day warning strike, commencing from today, the 20th of March 2024, terminating on 22nd March 2024. The Federal University of Lafayette branch of National Institute of Academic Technologies has joined the nationwide 3-day warning strike over the non-payment of 4 months withheld salaries of its members by the federal government. The former President Muhammadu Buhari has invoked the no work, no pay policy, which meant that the university workers would not be paid salaries within the period they were on strike in 2022. For President Bola Tinubu had in October 2023 directed that the university workers who embarked on a prolonged strike over the inability of the then government to address their concerns be paid 4 months of their withheld salaries. Speaking during a peaceful protest within university premises on Wednesday, the North Central Zonal Coordinator and Chairman of NAT in Futulafia, Kenneth Onu, said they decided to embark on a 3-day warning strike, which will end on Friday, to express their displeasure over the federal government neglect of the plight of their members. He explained that members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities had long received their 4-month salary arrears directed by the president, but members of NAT were yet to be paid despite their several appeals to the federal government. Firefighting efforts in Plateau State have received a boost as the Federal Fire Service has deployed a rapid response firefighting vehicle to the state command of the service to boost its operations and ensure a timely response to any fire incident in the state. The state governor, Caleb Mufang, who inaugurated the vehicle, used the occasion to make known his plans to reposition the state fire service for optimal performance. Mufang, who performed the ceremony at Government House Jos, expressed gratitude to the Director General of the Federal Fire Service for his valuable contribution to improving firefighting effort and assured of his commitment to providing continuous support to enhancing firefighting operations in the state. Earlier, the acting controller of the Federal Fire Service in the state, Tamfa Bonkat, said Plateau State is among the 15 states nationwide selected to receive this state-of-the-art firefighting vehicle and outlined the vehicle's capabilities, such as modern features like a 500-liter water tank and a 10-liter tank for chemicals. Bonkat underscored the vehicle's ability to diverse terrains and announced plans for its strategic deployment in high-risk area prone to fire outbreaks. The Katsina State government has assured readiness to end the spread of HIV and AIDS across the state in the next 6 years, precisely by the end of 2030. Director of Planning, Research and Statistics at the State Agency for the Control of AIDS, Abdullahi Abubakar, disclosed this on Monday, International Women's Day 2024, commemorated by the state branch of the Association of Women Living with HIV/AIDS in Nigeria. According to Abubakar, in the last quarter of 2023, precisely November, over 20,000 people on treatment were captured to have been living with HIV. However, with the adoption of a new strategy requiring every client to have his data, finger, and thumbprint, among other identities captured, we are seized with intense treatment of the disease. He said the current number of HIV patients in the treatment in the state now stands at 16,706. He therefore called on all husbands to allow their wives access to antenatal care services in hospitals whenever they are pregnant, urging residents to know their HIV status for easy disintegration of those living with the virus and vice versa. On her part, the state coordinator, Association of Women Living with HIV/AIDS in Nigeria, Hajiya Asiya Shehu, noted that the association joined the global community in commemorating the International Women's Day 2024 to celebrate the achievement of the women and advocate for gender equality. In the meantime, the chairman of the people living with HIV in Katsina State, Shehu Sulaiman, called on members to frequently access medication despite stigma and discrimination from the community members, urging the community and government to take eradicating HIV seriously. The Kaduna Zonal Command of the Economic Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has secured the conviction and sentencing of 4 internet fraudsters. The Kaduna State High Court, presided by Justice Darius Kobo, convicted and sentenced Mohammed Ibrahim Yusuf, Mubarak Ibrahim, and Olorunfemi Samuel. All the convicts were prosecuted on 1 count separate charges bordering on fraudulent activities and cheating by impersonation. They all pleaded guilty when the charges were read to them. Following their plea, prosecution counsel M.E. Emioye urged the court to convict and sentence them accordingly. Consequently, Justice Kobo convicted and sentenced Ibrahim to 2 years imprisonment with an option of a fine of 150,000 naira. Samuel was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment or 150,000 naira as fine, in addition to a restitution of $205 to his victim. The judge also convicted and sentenced Mohammed to 2 years imprisonment or 150,000 naira fine, while Yusuf back 2 years imprisonment or 100,000 naira fine. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this break.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
You human
On the point of order.
Honourable
On the point.
Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu has sent an executive bill to the Senate seeking for the establishment of a new salary, allowance and official benefit for judicial officers. The president's request was contained in a letter read by the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio. In a letter, President Tinubu said that the executive bill entitled Judicial Office Holders, Salaries and Allowances, ATC Bill 2024, will generate a new legal framework for the remuneration of judicial officers to improve their welfare. The president, who noted that the bill will promote the independence capacity of the Nigerian judiciary system, said the judicial office holders, salaries and allowances, ETC Bill 2024, seeks to prescribe salaries, allowances, and benefit for judicial officers to end the prolonged stagnation in their remuneration and to reflect contemporary socio-economic realities. The President of the Senate, Senator Akpabio, referred the bill to the Senator Mohammed Monguno, APC Bronu, North-led Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, and Senator Sani Musa, APC Niger East-led Committee on Finance, to report back in 2 weeks. The Senate has passed the Student Loan Access to Higher Education Act Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2024. The upper legislative chamber's resolution followed the consideration of the report of the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund. Muntari Dansuse, chair of the committee, presented the report during plenary on Wednesday. On March 14, President Bola Tinubu asked the National Assembly to repeal and reenact the student loan law. Tajuddin Abbas, Speaker of the House of Representatives, read the president's letter during plenary on Thursday. The president sent a similar letter to the Senate asking the lawmakers to accord his request expeditious consideration. Godswill Akpabio, president of the Senate, read the Senate version of the plenary in the Red Chamber. The House of Reps on Wednesday passed into law an act to prescribe the salaries, allowances, and fringe benefit of judicial officers holders in the country, which provide a total monthly package of over 5 million naira for the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Under the bill, which was submitted to the House on Tuesday by the President, other justices of the Supreme Court are to earn a total package of 4 million naira, while the President of the Court of Appeals to earn a total monthly package of over 4 million naira. Also, justices of the Court of Appeal are to earn a total monthly package of over 3 million naira, while the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, President of the National Judicial Court, Chief Judge of the FCT High Court, Grand Cadi FCT Sharia Court of Appeal, President of Customary Court of Appeal, Chief Judge State High Court, and Grand Cadi of State Sharia Court of Appeal, and President of the State Customary Court of Appeal are to earn a total monthly package of over 3 million naira. This monthly package includes their basic salaries and all regular allowances, which include motor vehicle fueling and maintenance, personal assistance, hardship entertainment, utilities, security outfit, journal, subscription, medical, along service allowances, restricted or forced lifestyle, dual responsibility, and legal recharges. The House of Reps has adjourned plenary till the 16th of April to celebrate the Easter and Eid holidays. Speaker Tajuddin Abbas adjourned the House on Wednesday at the end of plenary. Before the lawmakers adjourned, they approved 2 requests by President Bola Tinubu to extend the implementation period of the capital component of the 2023 budget and 2023 supplementary budget. Tinubu had earlier sent a letter to the House seeking an extension of the 2 bills. The lawmakers gave the 2 bills expedite passage as requested by the President. Meanwhile, the lawmakers also passed another bill by the President seeking an increment of the wages and allowances of judicial officers. The President had on Tuesday sent a bill to the House to amend the judicial office holders' salaries and allowances ATC bill. According to the President, the bill seeks to prescribe salaries, allowances, and fringe benefit for judicial officers to end the prolonged stagnation in their remuneration and to reflect contemporary socio-economic realities. The House has condemned the abuse of provision of orphanage homes in Nigeria. The Green Chamber urged the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare to interface with all 36 states and the FCT for immediate and full compliance of the mandate of orphanage homes across the country. This resolution followed a motion on the need to stem the tide of proliferation of orphanage home in Nigeria, moved by Emerengwa Boniface, Sunday, Rivers State. He expressed worry over the increase in the establishment of orphanage homes in the country, noting that the increase in number of orphanages in Nigeria are mainly due to the security in nearly all parts of Nigeria, such as kidnapping and Fulani herdsmen attack. The House mandated the Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development to liaise with the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, both to ensure standardization of orphanage homes and close those under-resourced. The federal government has named 15 entities said to be involved in terrorism and financing. They include 9 individuals and 6 bureau de change operators and firms. Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit disclosed this in an email titled Designation of Individuals and Entity for March 18, 2024. According to the document, Nigeria Sanction Committee met on March 18, 2024. At the meeting, specific individuals and entities were recommended for sanction following their involvement in terrorism financing. Those named in the document for financing in terrorism include Tuko Mamu, a Kaduna-based publisher who is currently being tried for allegedly aiding the terrorists who attacked the Abuja-Kaduna train in March 2022. Also, another was a member of the terrorist group Ansaru Muslimina Fail Biladusim, associated with Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb. Another name among those financing terrorism was a senior commander of the Islamic State of West African province, Okene, among others. Public affairs analyst Oduyemi Wells says the loading of human on top goods, especially from the northern part of the country, have been booming as a result of inadequate synergy between security agencies. In a bid to ensure that a better safety measure is obtained, the analysts maintain that the Federal Road Safety Corps must put up sustainable policies in order to deter commuters from the ill act. Oduyemi Wells spoke when he appeared on Atlantic Television Society Watch live program.
Of persons who have somehow find a way around the high cost of transportation or moving person from one location to the other. Now, I'm so sure that they're moving from their own departure point, which happens to be side of the north, coming to the south. Cheapest transportation medium in that fusion. I've been opportune some years ago to probably be privileged as to how they mount themselves, that a token will be contributed, and in that news about 172 persons were involved, and that long stretch, you can imagine only male. What about if you now look at the family that will probably be affected by this incident? You see that cost of living is high, and some people will probably want to, as it were, that thinking out of the box to minimize cost on transportation, to moving from one point to the other. There are other persons also who probably stand along highways just to hitchhike and see how they can also be, cut cost on transportation. Could be varying factors to the persons who probably felt that they are traveling, and the cheapest way of doing that is to negotiate with some of these truck drivers, who I know in turn will collect money to a quick one, a kind of side hustle. But
Word further urged the Federal Road Safety Corps to collaborate with other security agencies toward putting the stop on loading humans on top of goods, which is described as a risk to death.
My point is that if the sister agencies, the Federal Road Safety and all other sister agencies have a mandate to ensure the right thing is done, you most likely would avert this. Yes, they will still want to probably cut corners, but the point is that the consequence of such cutting corners, maybe some person will probably have been doing this over the last 10 years, I've been doing over this over the last 15 years, nothing happened, and nothing will happen. And then again, something has happened. And that something that has happened has led to what we are now discussing. So the point is, if road safety is now warning, the next line of action is to communicate saying flagging act of loading human on high truck or high heavy duty vehicles. Even in tankers, you will see it. Once they are going for a long journey, they will mount some of their belongings. Some are doing local japa moving from their hand down to another area where life seems to be a bit stable. Some maybe because of insurgents, unrest, banditry and all that. They probably also want to move from one point and say, okay, let's move to a place where at least you are sure of safety.
The Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawale, has said that the approved 2024 budget for the Defense Health Insurance Limited is an indication that President Bola Tinubu places high priority on quality health care of military veterans. The minister said there is during the 34th meeting on the board of directors of the DHIL at Shape House, Abuja, on Wednesday, March 20th. Members of the board in attendance included the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar Kana, Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, and the Managing Director of Defense Health Maintenance Limited, Surgeon Rear Admiral A.B. Afolayan, retired. The minister said the board endorsement for the payment of the several allowance equivalent to 40% of the staff basic salary was another demonstration that the welfare of the staff of the organization is of top priority as well. Matawale said that the approved DHMA 2024 budget will ensure the effective operations of the health insurance scheme in support of the armed forces of Nigeria. He charged the board of directors of the DHIL to be prudent and effective in the management of the resources and fulfillment of DHML's mandate. The Nigerian Labour Congress on Wednesday stormed the Secretariat of the Labour Party to protest the party national convention planned for the end of this month. The Congress also demanded sack of the national chairman of the party, Julius Abure. The NSC leadership accused Abure of planning to hold a secret convention without the input of major stakeholders. The planned convention was pitched Abure against the NLC and the House of Representatives caucus. The workers accused Abure of planning to destroy the Labour Party. The protesting workers have been refused entry into the party secretariat by the Nigerian police force. And now business news. The Central Bank of Nigeria has lifted forex restrictions on the importation of milk and dairy products in the country, a move expected to push down prices. This was contained in a CBN circular dated March 12 to all banks. This means importers can now access foreign exchange at official market rate. Recorded on February 11, 2020, the CBN had added milk and dairy products on the list of items not eligible for forex. Meanwhile, on October 12, 2023, the Apex Bank announced lifting the bank on 43 items previously restricted from accessing forex. The Group Chief Executive Officer, Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, has proposed a differentiated approach to attaining energy transition for the African continent. Kyari was also said the final investment decision of the Nigerian-Morocco gas pipeline project will be taken in December 2024. Made the call while speaking during the leadership dialogue session at the ongoing Sarah Week conference in Houston, United States. According to the GCO, energy transition is a very difficult subject for countries, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, because geographically, the situations are different as a number of the countries are dealing with energy availability, not transition, and energy availability is closely linked to energy security. He said although people was talking about using renewables to close the energy transition gap, the money for renewables too must be found. The GCEO said there's an ongoing engagement on the Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline project, which are at an advanced stage to create a pipeline that will pass through 13 African countries and to Europe. Funds earmarked to 9 oil-producing states as the 13% derivative from oil and gas revenue rose to about 85 billion naira in February 2024. According to the Bureau, the 85 billion naira 13% oil derivative in February increased from about 58 billion naira shared in January 2024. Nigeria's revenue sharing formula requires that the 9 oil-producing states, including Abia, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bayelsa, Delta, Imo, Edo, Ondo, and Rivers, receive 13% as oil revenue derivative. The development comes following data from NBS, where it said the Federation Account Allocation Committee disbursed a sum of 2.07 trillion naira to the 3 tiers of government in February 2024 from the total revenue generated in January 2024. The amount disbursed comprised of 1.15 trillion recorded from the statutory account, 479 billion naira from exchange gain, 16.59 million from electronic money transfer levy, and 420.73 billion naira from value-added tax. According to MBS, the federal government got a total of 407.27 billion naira, state got a total of 379.41 billion, and the local government got a total of 278.04 billion in February 2024. Now to international tidbits. The South African Bank said on Wednesday a court has ordered a halt to the ongoing payment from ex-President Jacob Zuma's account in a dispute over loans for improvement to his private home while in power. The First National Bank said the measure was a result of legal action taken by the liquidators of another bank, which is owed money by the 81-year-old politician. The measure is likely to further taint the reputation of graft-accused Zuma ahead of general elections on May 29. In power from 2009 to 2018, Zuma is fronting a small startup party that is threatening to take away key votes from his old home, the African National Congress. The partial account freeze is related to the decade-old controversial renovation of Zuma's massive homestead in his home province of KwaZulu-Natal. 7 million Senegalese are due to head to the polls on Sunday to vote in a wide-open presidential election following weeks of chaos and uncertainty. Whoever comes out on top will be tasked with steering the traditionally stable West African nation out of years of turmoil and managing revenues from recently discovered oil and gas reserves. The 18 men and 1 woman have until Friday to finish a rigorous 2-week campaign period, which was dramatically shortened after a last-minute change to the election date. The election race was also fired up by rapidly passed amnesty law that led last week to the release from prison of Bassirou Diomaye Faye and the charismatic Ousmane Sonko, figurehead of the anti-establishment opposition. Although Faye is Sonko's deputy, the former is on the ballot because the latter has been barred from standing. In the central town of Dobe, many people have faith in Salih's candidate, Amadou Ba. Schools in Afghanistan open for the new academic year on Wednesday, with girls lamenting being banned from joining secondary level classes for a 3rd year in a row. Taliban authorities barred girls from secondary school in March 2022 after surging back to power in 2021 and imposing an austere vision of Islam with cops. United Nations labels gender apartheid on Wednesday. Uniformed boys carry black and white Taliban flags as they line the entrance of Kabul's Amani school, where local officials arrived for the ceremonial start of the school year. It is the only country where girls' education is banned after elementary school. Online classes have sprung up in response to restrictions, but the death of computers and internet, as well as the installation of learning via screen, makes them a poor substitute for in-person learning. The ruling Communist Party has announced on Wednesday that President Vo Van Tang has resigned after just 1 year on the job, as the country mounts a sweeping anti-graft purge. The party said Trump was guilty of violation of shortcomings and his resignation was accepted by the Central Committee. The 53-year-old dramatic fall comes on Vietnam undergoes major political upheaval, with his predecessor forced out in an anti-corruption drive. There has been several ministers fired and top business leaders tried for fraud and corruption. A statement on the party website said Tong had violated on specific regulations and failed to set a proper example as head of state. The rubber-stamped National Assembly will hold an extraordinary session on Thursday to confirm the resignation. Tong became president on March 2nd last year after President Nguyen Xuan Phu resigned in a sudden move unusual for Vietnam, where political changes have been long carefully orchestrated with an emphasis on stability. And now entertainment news. Popular Nigerian comedian Ali Baba has stated that the Nigerian constitution is not actually a constitution. According to Ali Baba in a chat with newsmen, constitution is not actually a constitution but something that some people drafted and got some lawyers to knock it together. He added that the constitution does not speak to the growth and national development of Nigeria. Ali Baba also spoke on Nigeria's growth and suggested that the government should allow each state to have its autonomy. It may interest you to know that between the years 1967 to 1996, Nigerian military scrapped the regions previously established and created the 6 states and the Federal Capital Territory. And from those 36 states, 774 local government areas were created. However, Ali Baba expressed his view that some states were created just to appease some military officers. U.S. singer Ariana Grande and her husband, Dalton Gomez, have finalized their divorce after almost 3 years of marriage. Ariana Grande had filed for divorce in 2023, citing reconcilable differences. According to the Associated Press, Los Angeles Superior Court just granted the divorce. Grande and Gomez, who split earlier in 2023, had a prenuptial agreement and have no children together. This, combined with a lack of serious legal problems, made for a quick resolution. The settlement, which was reached in October to comprise a one-time payment of $1.25 million by Grande to Gomez, with no future alimony. The pop diva, with an estimated net worth of $240 million, will receive half of the earnings from the sale of their Los Angeles house and contribute up to $225,000 for Gomez's legal bills. And here now is ATN Sport News. Super Eagles can now intensify preparations for their upcoming friendlies against Ghana and Mali, following the arrival of all invited players. 6 players, including Wilfred Ndidi, Kelechi Iheanacho, Frank Onyeka, Francis Uzoho, Chidozie Anwaziem, and Bright Osayi Samuel, all arrived at team's camp on Wednesday. Interim head coach Finidi George now has all 22 invited players at his disposal. The new arrivals are expected to train with the top teammate later on Wednesday. Real Madrid defender Dani Carvajal has welcomed Kylian Mbappe's imminent move to the La Liga club. The Spaniard insists that the club had not informed the squad about Mbappe's impending arrival, although it has been widely reported that both parties have agreed a deal. Carvajal is, however, keeping on playing alongside the France captain. According to him, players of Mbappe and Barcelona star Lewandowski's stature helped to elevate the standard of La Liga. Former Brazil defender Dani Alves on Wednesday granted bail upon the payment of £1 million fee by Barcelona court. Alves was convicted of sexual assault in February and sentenced to 4.5 years in prison, of which he had already served over a year. His lawyer Lines Gubardiola had appealed the ruling, and after a hearing on Tuesday, the 40-year-old has been released pending the final resolution in the appeal. Alves will only be mandated to submit both his Spanish and his Brazilian passport and must remain in Spain, agreeing to weekly court check-in. He must also adhere to a restraining order which bars him from going within 1,000 meters of his victim, her home, her place of work, or any other place she is known to frequent. All parties involved, the defense, the victim's legal team, and the prosecution have 3 days to appeal Wednesday ruling. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Governor Fubara assures delivery of Port Harcourt Ring Road. Again, Shaibu loses bid to stop impeachment. The Senate passes Student Loan Bill Act. And CBN lifts FX restrictions on milk orders. Vietnamese president resigns amid graft purge. A singer Grande finalizes divorce with ex-husband. Dani Alves granted $1 million bail after rape conviction. I am Treasure Timidare. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on all our social media platforms. At X, Atlantic TV Net, at Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, and on Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. You have a very good evening.